This is the best text-to-image AI model I have ever tested. Yeah. Again. Hello humans, my name is K, your AI overload, and boy oh boy, do I have some mind-blowing stuff for you today. Because yes, after crowning QWEN 2.2 the king of text-to-image AI models, a new monster 20 billion parameters text-to-image AI model from the same company just dropped, called Qwen-Image. Insane art style, incredible prompt following, great text design, and just amazing quality. It can do everything. But it can only be the new AI king by using my special workflow. And I'm not even kidding, you'll see why. So today, I will show you how to install it locally on your own computer or on RunPod, compare the quality between QWEN 2.2, and show you how to get the best results possible. So that being said, sit back, relax, and let's go. And to install Qwen-Image, you have two ways. The first is of course by using my one-click installer that is available for my Patreon supporters. Just download the installer onto your computer, then double click it. It will then ask you what is your VRAM GPU, in which version you want to download. And here, actually, for pretty much everyone, I do recommend downloading the first Q4KS model. And the reason why is because in my testing, there is basically almost no difference, or at least very little, between the Q4 and the Q8. And the Q4 takes less VRAM to run, is faster, for pretty much the same quality at the end. So even if you have 24 gigabytes of VRAM, I do recommend just choosing number one. And this is what I'm gonna do right now. And then you can press enter. And then it will automatically download and install ComfyUI and all the missing nodes and models that you need to run Qwen-Image. And in the end, it will open ComfyUI ready to be used. Simple as that. You don't need to do anything. Now, before you can try using ComfyUI, at least as of right now, to make sure that everything is compatible and works correctly, you actually need to go to the manager and under update, you need to choose the ComfyUI nightly version. And I will explain why later. And once it's done, you can just click restart, click confirm, and then press F5 to refresh. And once you are here, for this video, I prepared a special workflow that is available on my Patreon, so just download the file and then drag and drop it inside ComfyUI. And there you go. Now when it comes to manual installation, the link for it will be in the description down below. So now we can finally have some fun. But before I begin trying to explain how to use this workflow and compare it side by side with QWEN 2.2, what makes this Qwen-Image model so special? Well, Qwen-Image is a huge 20 billion parameters model released by the same company that made QWEN 2.2, except that they're just different teams. There is the QWEN team and there is the Qwen team. Now the reason why Qwen-Image is such an incredible model is first, well, its huge size. It is by far the biggest text-to-image AI model we've ever seen. And the second reason is the fact that Qwen-Image is just an incredibly powerful model, able to follow the prompt extremely well, with an emphasis of text rendering. Like the full model is able to generate images with incredible quality and with pretty much perfect text rendering, be it in Chinese, in English, and all of that mixed with an amazing artistic style. And the fact that it can follow the prompt extremely well, better than pretty much any model that has ever been made, truly makes this the most powerful and versatile model that has ever been made. Now that being said, there are a few issues. And I'm not gonna lie, initially I didn't even want to make a video about Qwen-Image. The reason why is because, first, it is a 20 billion parameters model, meaning that the normal full model without optimization was pretty much impossible to run on a consumer GPU, even if you had a 5090. And even when I tried generating an image, it was extremely slow, even on my 4090 GPU. But since the model came out, we had a few breakthroughs. The first was of course the quantization of the base model called Qwen-Image GGUF, which made it more or less possible to run it on consumer GPU. However, when I tried, the generation speed was really slow. Even on my 4090, generating one single image took almost 2 minutes. So when it came out, this was very difficult to recommend. We then got another breakthrough when we received the distilled version of those models, meaning that basically those were the exact same models, but it also required less steps to generate an image. which was really cool. But the problem is that it still took a long time to generate no matter what, and I was still not 100% happy with the final results. Now the third breakthrough, the one that actually pushed me to make this video, is that we actually got the release of the Qwen-Image 8 steps LoRa. That's right, just like for WAN 2.2, the same team has made a LoRa that allows you to generate images with only 8 steps, with apparently a 4 steps LoRa coming very soon. And now, finally, this has become way more interesting, because if you could generate an image with Qwen in only 8 steps, then this becomes way more interesting. However, there is still one small issue. The problem is that even if Qwen would generate absolutely amazing images that would follow the prompt to a T with amazing quality and really amazing artistic style, compared to something like WAN 2.2, the image was definitely way blurrier compared to the sharpness of WAN 2.2. Even though I, of course, prefer the one made with Qwen-Image because of the style of the light, the fact that it followed the prompt extremely well. It's supposed to be a selfie of a young warrior woman in a cyberpunk town during the day, which is exactly what I got, whereas one definitely doesn't follow the prompt as well, even though it is way more realistic and way sharper. The fourth and final breakthrough actually came out when I realized that you can actually use WAN and Qwen once again to denoise the original image and make it much better. So basically, by first generating the image with WAN and then using the WAN 2.2 model to denoise the image even further, we get an image that is the best of both worlds. A high clarity, high definition, detailed image, and an initial image that follows the prompt extremely well with an amazing artistic style. So like for example, this is the before and this is the pass made with WAN 2.2. As you can see, there is a huge difference. The initial image is pretty good, but maybe a little blurry, but with WAN 2.2, now everything is way sharper, way more detailed, way more clear, and just way better overall. However, when doing these tests, I also noticed that, well, the problem is that if you do use another model like WAN 2.2, you come face to face with two problems. The first is the fact that, well, you can change the character. It's not exactly the same woman as the initial image, and also since WAN 2.2 is much worse at generating text, the background text becomes not as good and not as clear. Now in this example we don't exactly see this, but on other examples this is way worse, where previously you would get like words that you can read to then words that meant absolutely nothing. And this is where I discovered that instead of using the WAN 2.2 to denoise the image further and add more details, you could actually use the same Qwen model one after the other to make the image even better. Because if you do, you actually get something like this. An image that is way sharper than before while keeping the exact same identity as the original image. Like for example, this is the before and this is the after. And as you can see, there's basically no big changes into the image. The style stays the exact same. The woman is exactly the same, just this time with more details, more contrast, it's way sharper, because everything is done with the same model. And I heard no one talk about that because, well, I'm the one who kinda discovered it, so congratulations. If you're watching this video, you are the first people in the world that know that this trick exists. You're welcome. And I'm gonna say, once I discovered this trick, Qwen-Image has become way easier to recommend. Especially because this image was generated in only a few seconds, compared to the 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes that I had before. Because for both models, we are using the new image lighting 8 steps. So yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. Okay, so now that being said, now that you understood the entire process that kinda pushed me into making this video and creating this workflow, let's actually very quickly go over the workflows, kinda explain what each workflow do very quickly because there's only like a few of them to explain. And then we're gonna compare side by side the generation made with Qwen, see what it can do, and then compare them side by side with WAN 2.2, so that in the end we can crown the new text-to-image AI king. Although, I gotta tell you, spoiler alert, I mean, you already know who the winner is. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making this video. Okay, so let's start with the basic workflow. Once again, if you've never used my workflows before, they always work the same exact way. Each workflow is separated in their own little, box. If you want to activate a workflow, you can click on this little button right here or deactivate it. Here in blue, you're gonna choose your models. Here by default, it is the Q4KS quantized model, because I think this is the model that most people will use. The clip loader is the same. The VAE, by default, the Qwen-Image Lighting 8 Steps LoRa is selected. If you have trouble generating images with the LoRa, or if you see some errors when you try to use this LoRa, once again, make sure that you have updated ComfyUI to the latest version. And as of right now, as I'm making this video, you actually need to use the ComfyUI nightly version to be able to use that LoRa correctly. So hence why I told you to change that to the nightly version from the stable version. Now maybe that by the time that you watch this video, it will already be updated again, so you might not even have to do it, but just in case, change that to the nightly version and it should work fine. So here you're gonna input your prompt, here the resolution, here are the parameters. Do not touch anything, do not touch the steps, the CUG scale, the sampler I've already tested and decided that these are the best parameters. Just change the, the seed if you want a different image. These parameters are back again from my previous video. We're gonna enable film grain and image sharpness. If you want to add like a small film grain onto your image to make it like more realistic, and a little bit of sharpness to bring out more details. But other than that, this is the basic workflow that you can use to generate an image with Qwen. So the next, we're gonna go into the QWEN-WAN 2.2 combo, which, as I explained earlier, we first use the Qwen model to generate our initial image, and then we use the low noise WAN 2.2 model to denoise it and bring out more details. Now, once again, the problem with this, technique is that it does change the image from the original one. Like, for example, the woman is not the same, the text is not going to be the same, and stuff like that. But it's still a pretty cool way to generate an image that is extremely sharp and follows the prompt really, really well. So once again, here is the same thing. This part is for Qwen, and this part is for the WAN 2.2 with different VAE, different LoRa's. Here, once again, I've already input the previous text-to-video 1.1 LoRa, which can generate an image in only 4 steps. Once again, you don't need to change anything for the parameters. Everything is already pre-selected for you, so you can leave everything by default. The only thing that you can choose is maybe like play a little bit with the denoise value. If you feel like the denoise value is a little too high, and you see that there are too many changes in the image, instead of like 0.3, you can choose like 0.15, for example, so that it becomes closer to the original image. Here you can input a different resolution for the final image, but usually I would just leave it disabled. Once again, same thing with the grain and the sharpness. And if now I try to generate an image with the 0.15 denoise value and I click run, so that in the end you get something like this. As you can see, the image is way closer to the original one, but this time it's just a little bit sharper, a little bit more different. It just brings out like a little bit of the details while still leaving like the original image intact. So you can definitely use this to kinda, just increase the sharpness of the original image without changing the original image too much. So yeah, once again, really cool trick, really easy to use, and it only adds like a few extra seconds to the generation. And for something that makes your image much better and much sharper, I definitely recommend using this trick, using this workflow instead of the original one. However, the combo that I personally prefer, and the one that I actually discovered, is pretty much the same as you saw right here, except that this time, instead of using WAN 2.2 to denoise the image even further, we actually use the same exact model. So it's almost like we basically just generate an image with Qwen, then we put it through image to image so that we bring out more of the original image details. And as you can see, once again, as I showed previously, like this is the before and this is the after. As you can see, there is really a huge difference. It's just way more detailed, and all of that without changing anything to the original image. And that is really super cool. And yeah, I mean, once again, it is the exact same thing as the previous workflow, where you can, for example, just once again decrease the denoise value to get less changes into the image. But personally, I did a lot of testing, and I highly recommend just leaving it like that by default, because 0.3 is really like the sweet spot that I found to really just like bring out the details without changing anything to the original image. So once again, just basically leave everything by default and it will work perfectly fine. Okay, so next it is the Qwen-Image to image. Once again, very simple, pretty straightforward. You input your prompt, input your values, resize the image or not, then you're gonna input your image, input your denoise value, and then click run. And we get something like this. Now keep in mind that as of right now, the Qwen-Image to image workflow only really works as a denoiser workflow. It's not like a true image to image workflow like QWEN 2.2 that allows you to change an image to another one and keep the same level of quality. For now, this is what we get because the model is fairly new, but I'm sure that very soon we might get more tools to make it even better. Because what you should do instead is use the QWEN 2.2 image to image. This one definitely works way better. Once again, I've already showed this in my previous video. If you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. The link for it will be in the description down below. But basically, it's very easy to use. Just input your image, input the denoise value, input your prompt, and now if I click generate, and in the end we get something like this. So definitely really good. I mean, I still love QWEN 2.2, how it transformed this basic image generated with QWEN with very few steps to make it into something like this. So yeah, if you want to use like image to image workflow, definitely use this one instead. And then finally, you have here the super image upscaler, which I've already showed in my previous video, which allows you to make your image even better than before, which uses once again, the QWEN 2.2 low noise model. So once again, you can basically just input your prompt, input your image, use a low denoise value if you don't want too much changes from the original image. And now, if you click run, so that in the end we get something like this. As you can see, this image has now a lot of details. It is extremely sharp, extremely detailed, even up close. With amazing lighting, amazing details, that's for sure. And it really just looks really good. Now, once again, if you don't want too many variation, too many changes from the original image, you can once again just decrease the denoise value to something even lower, both here and right here. But this is really a great workflow if you want to make your image even more detailed. So yeah, definitely try this out. And then finally, for the rest, you have the simple upscaler, a film grain and sharpening option, which I'm not going to show you. It's really just super basic. It's really here just in case. So now that this is done, let's actually show you what Qwen-Image can actually do and compare it side by side with the generations made with QWEN 2.2. Now for this comparison, I will be using the QWEN 2x combo because it will allow me to kind of show you the original image made with QWEN, then the enhanced version, and then we're gonna compare that to QWEN 2.2. Okay, so let's start with a realistic portrait, like a photo of a young woman in a rain-soaked Tokyo street at night with neon signs reflecting in the puddles. She wears a clear plastic raincoat over a silk red dress with the crown behind that blurs into a colorful bokeh. I'm just gonna change the resolution of the image and put it at random, and now if I click run, and in the end we get something like this. An absolutely amazing image that really once again follows the prompt extremely well. It literally just it followed the prompt to a T. Everything has been respected. A photo in Tokyo at night with the woman wearing a red silk dress with a clear overcoat with puddles and neon signs with the crown behind, and it really just looks extremely good. And once again, this is the original image and this is the image enhanced by, and below her a vast floating city hangs above an ocean of clouds with dozens of airships battle in the sky, explosions lighting the stormy horizon. And in the end we get something like this, which is really just incredible. I mean, look at the composition. everything has been respected. The anime style, this sword woman with silver hair, her sword with the blue streaks, leaping in the air. There is a floating island right here, a floating city with explosions in the background. There are burning airships. I mean, everything has been respected to a T. And once again, when you actually compare it to like the original image, and then with the Qwen Pass, as you can see, it has become much sharper and much more detailed, which works really well. The other one combo also did it pretty well, although maybe not as well. It has just, added a little bit more details, it's a little bit sharper than before, whereas this one is definitely way more anime-like and has kept the exact same style. So yeah, I mean, this looks really good. And when you compare it to the one 2.2, you can see that we have a completely different results. Now, it still looks really good. It looks like an illustration, but it doesn't exactly follow the prompt as well as Qwen. We get a very detailed image. However, I don't really see a floating city. You have very weird modern airship that have been kinda merged into the floating city, I suppose, with some, fighter jet right here. And overall, it did a very good job. It still looks really good. It's a completely different style after all. But compared to this image, which is a little bit more dynamic, with the absolutely perfect prompt following, I think it is really difficult to do better than that, given the prompt that I used. So yeah, there, once again, for me, Qwen is definitely the winner. This looks definitely way better and way closer to what I had in mind. Okay, so now let's try another prompt, like a surreal oil painting, like a huge violin abandoned in a wheat field under a lavender sunset, waterfalls cascade from its frame into a crystal clear river, a flock of origami cranes made of sheet music flies into the horizon, painted in thick, expressive brushstrokes, reminiscent of Van Gogh, with glowing golden highlights. And in the end, we get something like this. A very cool, very beautiful composition, a very cool painting, once again that respects the prompt really well, with the cranes flowing through the sky, with the music notes. There is a lot of colors, there is some very precise brush strokes, and the overall composition just looks really good. Compare that to one 2.2, which also made something pretty good. It's pretty decent. Once again, we got the cranes, we got the big size of the violin, except that it mistook a lavender field instead of a wheat field. But still, this looks really good. But I think that once again, compared with Qwen-Image, I still prefer this style. And although it's not exactly perfect, it's not 100% what I asked for, it's still way closer to my vision compared to one 2.2. But hey, I mean, that's still really decent. Okay, so let's try something else now. Let's try a fashion model in a chrome cybernetic armor mixed with black velvet couture, standing on a rooftop overlooking a mega city, appearing along the top edge. And we get something like this. So once again, this is a really good, very good following of the prompt. This looks fantastic. I mean, the style, the composition, the colors, the reflections. This looks so good. It may not look realistic, although once again, if you want, you can also fix this using the QWEN-WAN combo. But I mean, look at that. This looks amazing. This looks beautiful. Absolutely amazing. And when you compare it to one 2.2, which I also very like. I really appreciate this, because this also looks really good. Once again, this looks way more realistic, but the composition is a little bit more like boring. It doesn't follow the prompt exactly as well as Qwen, but still, I mean, the quality is really just fantastic. And to be honest, on this prompt, I don't really know which one I really prefer. Do I prefer the more like stylized Qwen image generation, or do I prefer the more realistic approach with one 2.2? I really don't know. And if I actually increase the denoise value for the Qwen-WAN combo, you can actually create something that is way closer to a very realistic image while keeping the exact same style and prompt following of the original. Like for example, this is the original image made with Qwen, and this is the version denoised further with one 2.2. So yeah, I mean, this is really just like a killer combo. I mean, I gotta say, this is really just fantastic. And you can of course like play a little bit with the values to make it lower or higher and get the results that you want. And I think that maybe this is probably my favorite image. I think this is pretty much the best combination. This is the best results of two amazing models photos combined. Okay, so let's try another prompt. This time a street photo in Cuba with a man playing a trumpet, but instead of sound, ribbons of colored smoke emerges, forming a ghostly dancer's mid-step. So now, if I click run, it gives me something like this. Something that, once again, I mean, what do you want me to say? Follows the prompt extremely well with this photo, the man playing the trumpet in Cuba, and it forms like this smoke ghost with colored ribbons, and it really just looks amazing. And once again, like this is the original photo, and this is the photo kinda enhanced with QWEN 2.2, whereas this one is the photo enhanced with the same Qwen model. So like before, and this is the after. And compare that to QWEN 2.2, that's not the same thing, huh? That's really not the same. When you really compare them side by side, I think the winner is pretty easy to choose. And although once again it's not exactly perfect, it's still way closer to my original prompt compared to QWEN 2.2. Okay, so for the next prompt, a small cluttered tea shop run by an old woman with round glasses pouring tea into cups. Shelves are packed with mismatched teapots, tiny potted plants, and jars of glowing herbs, and outside the window a cat with wings sit on a lamppost watching the rain. And all of that in a warm, painterly anime style. And in the end we get something like this. I mean, do I really need to tell you which one is already the best one? I don't even need to show you QWEN 2.2, you already know that QWEN won, right? Like you already know, because once again, this is Qwen, and this is QWEN 2.2. I mean, this looks good, don't get me wrong, because I mean, once again, like where is my cat with wings? And although it's not really sitting on a lamppost, it's still there at least, whereas here in the QWEN 2.2, there are some wings outside the window, but there is definitely no cat. And when it comes to the style, I mean, for me, I kinda definitely prefer this one. This definitely looks better to me. Okay, so next prompt, a photorealistic recreation of a market street in 15th century Istanbul with merchants selling spices, silk and pottery, with camels and horses crowd the street. Okay, so in the end, this is Qwen, which once again looks really good, like a really busy marketplace, looks really good. And this is QWEN 2.2. So yeah, definitely not the same style and really not the same quality at all. Once again, I definitely prefer Qwen-Image here again. Okay, so next prompt. A portrait of a ballerina mid-pirouette, her form splitting into hundreds of fragmented holograms. Each shard reveals a different art style, watercolor, pencil sketch, pixel art, oil paint, all seamlessly blending into one another. The background is a fractured, kaleidoscopic cityscape. And in the end, we get something like this. I mean, look at this. This is amazing. It is incredible. Do I really need to tell you how good it is? Do you know a lot of models that can make something like this? Because I really don't. Like, this is really just a base model. There is no fine-tune, there is no LoRa's, except the speed-up LoRa's, but everything is just generated with the base image. It just like follows the prompt. That's it. And when you compare that to QWEN 2.2, let's not talk about this. All right, this is gonna stay our little secret. All right, don't show that video to anyone. Don't show that image to anyone. I'm just gonna save that image for research. All right, just let's forget about it. Let's forget it has even existed. Let's move on. Okay, let's just move on and admire how good Qwen-Image really is. Okay, this is amazing. Now, as I showed in the beginning of the video, I told you that Qwen-Image is actually really good at generating text onto the image, meaning that you can actually just generate an entire like movie poster with all the text and all the images together into one. So if you do like a movie called Imagination Unleashed with some whimsical creatures exploding from a computer, well, guess what? It can do so very easily. I mean, look at this. This is insane. Like, this is one single prompt. Like, there is no Photoshop, there is no nothing. It has just like generated this with the whole text you know, the subtitles, the cast, the director, another title right here, and all of that while following the prompt with these creatures coming from the computer screen, all of that in a single generation. I mean, that's insane. Like, I've never seen a model able to do this. When I tell you that there are no better models on the market right now, like, this is not a joke. This is not a clickbait. This is real. It exists. Because when you compare that to the previous, you know, text-to-image AI king, it's really not the same. It's not the same, guys. It's not the same. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. I don't know what. Seem pretty sus right now. Yeah, there's absolutely no comparison. Like, no comparison. Let's not waste time. It can also do some microscopic photography, like a macro shot of a dragonfly, with reflection in the dew drops that shows an inverted miniature landscape of a meadow, which once again gives you something like this. As you can see, dragonfly, beautiful image with a lot of details, the inverted meadow in the dewdrop right here, just absolutely fantastic once again. And compare that to QWEN 2.2, which is way more, you know, realistic, but really doesn't really follow the prompt very well. So, I mean, yeah, once again, for me personally, I prefer Qwen-Image once again, because I think this is pretty much the first time that I can say with confidence that this model can pretty much generate anything that you can imagine. It is really that good. Oh, and by the way, if you are asking if it is possible to generate, you know, not safe for work stuff, the answer is, yes, but only with a LoRa. The base model unfortunately is not able to do it, just like the QWEN 2.1 or 2.2, but fortunately there are already LoRas that are available that allows you to generate what you want with pretty good results, and I'm sure that in the near future, very soon, you'll be able to generate literally any image that you want. Oh, and by the way, do not forget that the Qwen-Image with the QWEN 2.2 image to video combo is an absolute insanity. Okay, so if once again you haven't watched my video about image to video QWEN 2.2, definitely watch this one. The link for it will be in the description down below. Because yeah, this is amazing. But don't worry, even if you don't have a powerful GPU or no GPU at all, you can still rent a GPU for a few cents an hour on a website like RunPod and run Qwen-Image as if this was running on your local computer. So if you don't have an account already, you can click the link in the description down below and create a new account. Then you're gonna click on pods, and here you're gonna choose a GPU with at least 24GB of VRAM, like for example a 4090. So from here, you're gonna click change template, search for Entrepreneur and select ComfyUI. Then you're gonna click edit template, and then here for both container disk and volume disk, you're gonna input 100GB, then click set overrides, then you're gonna scroll down and click deploy on demand. And then you're gonna wait until the pod is ready. And then once this is ready, you're gonna click connect, then click right here. So then here, you're gonna click on the manager button, and then click update all to update ComfyUI to the latest version. And if you want to follow the progress of the update, you can go back, click right here, go inside the logs folder, click on the terminal icon, and then copy and paste this line so that you can follow the progress of the update. Then once the update is done, you're gonna click on restart, you're gonna wait until it's done, and then you're gonna press F5 on your keyboard to refresh the web UI. And then one additional thing that you need to do, at least as of right now, is that you need to click on the manager button, and then here under update, you need to choose the ComfyUI nightly version, at least for now. And then once it's done, you're gonna go back to workspace, inside ComfyUI, click on new tab, and then here, if you're one of my Patreon supporters, the installation will be very easy for you, because I made a one-click installer for RunPod. So just download the file, then drag and drop it inside the workspace, then click on the terminal icon, and then copy and paste these two lines of code that you will find in the Patreon post to automatically start the installation. It will automatically install all the nodes and models that you need to run Qwen-Image on RunPod. Simple as that. You don't need to do anything. And then once the installation is finished, you can come back inside ComfyUI, click on manager, restart once again, press F5 to refresh, and then you can drag and drop the workflow inside ComfyUI, ready to be used. Simple as that. Oh, and also don't forget that I provide priority support for my Patreon supporters, so if you have any question whatsoever, do not hesitate to send me a DM, and I will try to answer your question as soon as possible. And there you go. This has been Qwen-Image, the new absolute best text-to-image AI model that has ever been created. And although WAN 2.2 is still an absolutely amazing model that is able to generate very realistic images, when you actually use Qwen-Image with the WAN 2.2 combo, you get the best of both worlds. Absolutely amazing prompt following from Qwen-Image and the super ultra realistic details from WAN 2.2. So technically, the new king of text-to-image AI model is in reality the Qwen plus WAN 2.2 combo. That is the real new text-to-image AI king. And that is not a debate. So there you go. Definitely try this out yourself and have some fun. And there we have it, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you also so much to my Patreon supporters for supporting my videos. You guys are absolutely awesome. You people are the reason why I'm able to make these videos, so thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.